Hey everybody, Marty and Megan here with IGN. Megan, we're here with the Final Fantasy 15 demo from a couple days ago.
Yes, we are.
This is amazing. This was 40 minutes, which you can see the full 40 minutes on IGN.com. It has a ton of new stuff about combat. It's narrated, but it's in Japanese.
Yes.
So a little tough to understand. But we trimmed out a couple minutes of it that we find particularly interesting, and we wanted to sort of rewind them and dive a little bit into the battle system, into some of the options, and sort of figure out what's actually going on with this game. What's the first thing we're looking at here?
So, should be coming up in just a second.
Yeah, so we're seeing, this is obviously Noctis and company fighting a group of, they look like peaceful yaks. Oh no, he's not peaceful, just kidding.
No.
So that was a cool thing right there.
Right.
So this was one of, you wrote up in a piece about how
I did.
Noctis sort of has different teleport abilities.
I did. So this is kind of a teleport ability. It's kind of like a guard or a counter where he can quickly dodge out of the way, which is really cool. So it's one of three really cool things that he can do. We'll see another super cool thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can see here, I mean, we don't know if it's automated or if this is, like, if he has a guard ability on or if this is actually, like, you
I believe it's actually a guard ability.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, that's really cool. Okay, then we're going on. You see, the rest of the party is obviously automated. They're all doing their own thing. It's sort of, the combat system seems reminiscent of 12 with the Gambit system.
Yeah.
Which seems super cool because I'm a huge fan of 12. Yeah, we have more
no
of them.
Comment.
Okay.
Oh, well.
No, did you say no comment?
I said no comment.
Oh my God. Okay, we'll save that for another conversation. But this was the thing we wanted to see here.
Yes.
This thing was cool. What did we just see?
So what you'll see at 9:23 is you'll see Noctis use a jump ability, which I'm stoked for because that's one of my favorite abilities in Final Fantasy. This is old school Kane going on, Dragoon Kane. And what's cool about it is apparently it's a counterattack. If you successfully counter an attack by one of those crazy acts, you will actually, if you have the right sword, I believe it's the Werven sword.
Yeah, so this is like this. It's sort of the spear. It looks less because later on in the demo we're gonna go into a lot about his different weapons, but yeah, you see as he comes down, he sort of comes down like a lancer and just stabs.
Which also reminds me a lot of Kane. So
yeah, totally. Which is yeah, it seems like the swords almost act as jobs. Sort of like each sword sort of has seemingly different inherent abilities that sort of, you're not transforming Noctis. Every time we've seen him, he's still sort of wearing this thing, but the swords, oh God, that sword's really cool looking.
Yeah.
And we see how quickly he changes swords too. He's used like 4 or 5 different swords in this battle.
Yeah, so we're going to come up, we're going to see the different swords that you can actually use. Now, in the demo, I believe you don't get to change weapons. You can, however, look for phantom swords, and I think that's what those are.
Oh, phantom swords.
Phantom swords.
Which is sort of a callback to like the original things we saw from Versus 13 so long ago.
Oh my gosh, I am amazed at how many things are still in the game,
despite the fact that like this can't be the same game. But man, a lot of these ideas. And like here, we get a cool glimpse of the sort of the victory moment where the party gets to cool down a little bit. Everyone's sweating.
And you'll notice that they do slightly different poses. Like there's one where Noctis is like dusts off his hands.
It's super cool. I mean, that's everything we've seen from the Duske demo that comes with Type 0. Just shows a lot of personality into the characters, which I'm a big fan of. So that was this was the first clip we wanted to show off the cool Dragoon jump ability. We're gonna cut into the next one, which has a couple cool things. One of the things I like here is that Noctis and company are sort of hiding and stalking, which I like. In some of the other demos we saw, they're sort of in the forest, and you see these massive beasts.
Yeah, you can. It actually says on the you blinked on the screen. It said cover.
Yeah,
and that's awesome.
Yeah, which is really cool because it seems like they've even said that in this demo there's going to be creatures you can fight sort of along the main path that are of your level, but then there's going to be other creatures that are just way overpowered that you're going to want to avoid, which is here you get the stalking ability. So this is when we're going to go sort of deep dive into the swords.
Exactly. So by the way, that's the item and weapons and all that good stuff.
Megan can understand Japanese, and I certainly cannot. So we have cool swords here.
Yes. So from top to bottom, we have the Avenger.
We have the Avenger. Okay.
We have Blood Sword.
Okay.
I believe there is the I'm blanking now, but there's like the Werven sword.
Okay.
And then there's one I know what it is. I can never pronounce it. It's in every RPG. The Zweihander.
The Zweihander.
See?
You got the Japanese. I got the German.
All right. You got it.
Yeah. Was that the one that looks like an oar?
So
the one on the bottom looks like an oar. Like we're gonna.
Yeah, like you're gonna go paddling.
That Noctis and company are gonna go on a canoe. I could totally see them taking a canoe. Like their car breaks down.
You just see them wade through water in this game, which is rad.
If the road trip can turn into a river trip, if they can go on a riverboat gambling tour, oh man, what if the Golden Saucer was on a riverboat? spoilers.
Oh my gosh.
Spoilers. So,
Totally.
so it says Phantom Sword up there in the corner. What is so? I mean, is that what we're seeing when he's sort of pulling these swords out of midair? And how
Yeah.
they're
So
appearing?
you won't be able to change or do a whole lot with your regular weapons, but according to the information, you will be able to go on quests where you can collect Phantom Swords. It'll actually be side quests.
Yeah.
And that's what you can do, and it's really, really cool.
Yeah,
So
and that's and that's the thing that's harking back to that original Versus 13 footage where Noctis had that like sort of army of swords encircling him, where he was like stepping down from that throne down the stairs, and he just had like 30 swords
and
all around.
It's really
him.
great that it's actually made it this far.
I mean, I don't know how much of the game is still
Versus the 15,
here.
it actually made it into the game.
We see some of the stats here, and I'm sort of curious at how deep the stats go, because right here we see just baseline. Noctis is level 15. You see his attack and his defense, and so I'm sort of curious, like, Final Fantasy games have always been sort of stat heavy, so I'm wondering if those are just the ones that were, present at that moment when you're looking at your swords, or if you go into your actual stat menu, if it's going to be, much deeper than that.
That's a good question. It looks pretty deep so far too. So
yeah, and the swords have their own sort of personal ranks, and so I'm not sure if that's a static thing or if the more you use them, they'll rank up.
Yes, that's a good question.
Yeah, so that's something we're going to find out obviously soon as the Dusque demo approaches. And here we see he's sort of using these are him using his Phantom Swords, which is that is that meter in the right below his health bar.
Something that I love is it'll pop up in a second, but you'll see he has like a sword barrier that comes up, and that completely right there, boom, that is a total throwback to Versus 13. The very first trailer.
Yeah, that is what we saw originally. And you see, he's almost like this, I don't know, like the equivalent of like a limit break. What he's doing, it's almost like he's going to this rage mode. Like what was Cloud's attack called? Omnis Slash.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is this is just him. You see the bar, the blue bar is continually draining down as he's using this. So it almost feels like also. I mean, obviously this is going to share some combat-wise. It's going to share some similarities with the Kingdom Hearts series, but it almost feels like when in Kingdom Hearts 2, when you sort of go into that fusion mode and you only have X amount of time.
Yeah.
And so you just want to get off as many attacks as you can. Oh God, this looks so cool.
Yeah, I'm still like so impressed that this sword barrier and the Phantom Swords and all this stuff. And then there's one more thing that we've seen before in trailers that I was a little worried wouldn't make it into the game. But it's coming up.
Sure. Yeah, which is it's the weird thing. I love this.
It's like the ultimate teleport. That's awesome.
And it's cool because I'm curious. It looked like it was very much a sort of a bespoke, like this is where it's going to be. It's going to be in this section alone, that kind of thing. Like you can't be throwing it at any tree.
No.
It's like this is a specific vantage point. But it's a cool, like, if you think your party can handle the rest of the battle, which obviously they could right there, you can, take a vantage point. You can get out of the danger, let your sort of, whatever that blue meter is, refill.
And you can look around the battlefield to get an idea of what's happening too.
Yeah, really cool stuff. Obviously we're going to have so much more, on everything Final Fantasy 15, Type 0, and Dusque leading up to its release in March. Man, I am really excited. I'm trying to think the last time I've been this excited for a demo. It sort of doesn't happen this generation.
I think that's really interesting is that, and it's not only like, it's not even like a short demo, it's like 3 hours long, which is
it's
really
like its
nice.
own like chunk. It's like its own, meaty thing. Oh God, I love in the background there's just, look at that giant thing just hanging out. It's like a just giant dinosaur, and like everything, certain stuff looks peaceful. Like if you don't mess with it, it's not going to mess with you. Super excited. Yeah, I don't think I've been this excited for a demo since Metal Gear Solid 2 on Zone of the Enders. So that was a long time ago. Yeah,
I'm super stoked for that. I mean, I'm looking forward to Type 0 as well.
Of course,
and this, of course, comes with the sort of special edition of Type 0. So you can't just get it on any edition of Type 0. So we need to make that clear. You do have to like pre-order it, basically.
Yeah, which you'll want to do if you want to play this. Meghan, thank you so much. We're going to have so much more in Final Fantasy Type 0, 15, and Dusque leading up through its release in March. So
March 17th, I believe.
March 17th, so close. So everything else Final Fantasy and cool sword, shield, barrier things, you're already in the right place. IGN.com.